the cloud. Okay, I'm going to start over and just introduce myself. We're going to record specifically for the volunteer session. And I'll share my screen in just a second and we'll get started with the presentation. My name is Michaela Fitzgerald. I'm again the co-founder and president of LVAATP. We are a 501c3 nonprofit in Leavenworth. And we're somewhat in our infancy as an organization. We've been incorporated for just over 2 years, and I am super happy with the growth that we've made so far. We have an amazing board and we have several members. Right now, our meetings are strictly for our board in kind of our planning and growth phases, but eventually I hope we'll have more opportunities for our members to do things and be a part more of the organization. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, attempt to share my screen. And we're kind of halfway through the presentation here. Let me back up. And I'll go full screen. Can you at home see my screen?
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, so we're all on board to volunteer for LVAATP at the park on August 26th, and the event is going from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're offering it all, folks. We've got artist tents and live performances on a big stage and guided imaginative play for kids going through the playground like they've never experienced it before with some volunteers. And we have a color jamboree dance party at the very end. So hopefully we can encourage people to stick around or maybe even just keep coming, toward the end of the day with some color powder like you see at the color runs. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then of course, art making activities. A lot of you are involved as volunteers for those. So it takes a village to put this thing on. We've got everyone from, barricade attendants and parking attendants to artist helpers and art makers. And it's a lot and it's awesome. So we've got several people on board to make it happen. By the way, and it's kind of weird not being able to see you guys. I'm going to pull you back on because I don't want to feel alone. If at any time you have
my video.
Logan, go ahead.
Oh, I said I could start my video.
No, that's okay. I mean, you can for sure, but I just wanted to, have people with me. Not like I'm just staring at my screen talking to myself. Not a big deal. You guys totally don't have to. Just say it. But if at any time you have a question, if I say something that doesn't resonate or doesn't make sense or whatever, just say, what about this? Like, just interrupt me completely and we'll keep going. And I'll answer your question, of course, try to answer your question. That's another thing. If I can't answer your question, I'm going to write it down and I will get back to you. Okay, so again, some of our goals for this event, I should back up and say the mission of our organization is to provide ways for people to experience the arts in various capacities, and we want to celebrate it together. And we think that's pretty awesome. And our vision is ultimately a center for the arts in Leavenworth, a dedicated center for the arts that offers tons of different things. And in order to get there, we felt like we need to build the community around it first, find the support first so people know who we are and know what we're about. And then it kind of just easily transitions into, oh, we already support this group and now they're in a building and we'll definitely go there and do all the things there. So part of that vision and this mission, we, in building the community, we're like, well, let's put on this event called LVAATP at the Park, and we hope it to be an annual thing. And hopefully it'll become our flagship event, that it kind of puts LVAATP on the map and keeps us relevant and integrated, embedded in the community. So we hope to offer with this event, an immersive, awesome quality arts experience for people within our community, but then also people visiting from, maybe all over the county, all over the country. They come to LVAATP. I don't know. We'll see. Big hopes. But in our first year, we just hope to put on, a really nice, quality, well-run event. we're featuring local and regional artists. We hope to build partnerships. We've already met so many people and welcomed so many people on board. It's great. And we just keep on making those connections and, getting those stakeholders in our organization. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish with this, is just to put our organization and the arts on the map and saying, hey, Leavenworth is a community that supports the arts and is very talented and, showcases the arts and has a lot of, artists and art lovers. And it's a good place to be, because who doesn't love the arts? Just saying. So I've already kind of talked to you about what all this is going to feature. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, we do have an official event packet. It looks very nice. I feel there's only a few typos, which is great. And it talks about what we're offering. And so the community can look through it and be like, wow, I want to come to this thing. And if I can click on this, I don't think in the recording that link will be live. Actually, probably definitely not. But you can always email me if you want a copy, or it's on our social media. It's on our website. You can find it. But that's kind of what it looks like. We have a theme for this year. It's rock, paper, scissors. It's inspired by this lady who's a paper cutting artist out of Lawrence. She actually is originally from Atchison. It's kind of cool, but she's nationally recognized. Her name's Angie Pickman. That's where we got the idea of rock, paper, scissors. So a lot of our art making opportunities are somewhat in the vein of incorporating rock, paper, or scissors in some capacity, somewhat loosely at this point, but hopefully each year we'll have a new theme that people get excited about, and we offer new art making activities and such sessions related to a new theme. So anyway, you guys can browse this at your leisure if you find it, again, on our social media or website. Some of you will be running these activities, and we'll let you know for sure what those will be soon. This just might give you a little snapshot of like what it might look like. We are learning what this will look like as well. To be honest, we're like, what will a community weaving entail and look like? Because we've actually never done one, but we are going to make one. So it'll be an adventure. So there's all these things. Check it out. What was I going to say? Oh, so super cool. Our Vice President, Sarah Filbert, and I are going to create tutorials only for like, I don't know, 10 or something of these activities. So like, for instance, for the geode watercolor activity, if you had volunteered for that specific activity, or if we maybe even like put you there because it's like, yeah, I'm going to do anything, and I could hang. We will do like a quick tutorial, like a 5-minute tutorial of kind of, this is what it could look like at the end, and these are the materials, and this is kind of how you can manipulate them. Like, we're not asking you to be experts, for instance, but if you could at least somewhat have an idea of what's going on, that's great. If you even wanted to request some supplies or materials to practice with first, you certainly could, and we would get you those. Not that it's required, and you could probably even do it on the fly, if you're sitting there at the beginning and kind of just testing it out for yourself. I think that's part of the art making experience together, is the process, and just saying, hey, I'm the leader of this activity, and we're gonna maybe work through it together. And I would hope that from our tutorials we could then have like a example piece, for instance, so it might give some people a visual of like what it could look like potentially. So that's enough about that. I think, again, lots of fun things to check out there. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to go back to full screen. Am I back to full screen? Yes. Okay. Again, the theme was rock, paper, scissors. Here's our awesome, fun, cute event map. It might still change a little bit. Let me move. I don't know if you guys can see that if I'm moving the bar. Okay, so let's so yeah, this is our event map, and this will be issued. We'll probably email it out again, or we'll have it on our social media / website. But here's the Stubby Park Playground. This is 4th Street. There it is. And this is Poplar. This is where Abel's Field is over here at Cause Lot now. We will have barricades. Again, I'm probably getting ahead of myself because I'm talking about some of the things where you guys will be integrated. But I'll double back. I'll come back. So again, we will have barricades to block off, kind of this section of the street so that once people park, well, I would assume, I don't know if we have a crossing guard on our volunteer list. I think we do. If not, we will get one. But people will come over, I guess we don't need a crossing guard if there's barricades, but people will come across to the park. And we got all of our activities kind of numbered. Here are our artist tents. We've got the stage and our audience area. Still kind of working out the details with the hillside mural, if I'm being honest. We've got the American Legion up here. This is where our hot dogs and drinks and chips are going to be. So if at any time during the day, if you guys are there for an extended period of time, I'm going to try to schedule you so that, you can have a chance to eat. If you're there all day, you need a break. You can head up there. It is for purchase. It's going to be a fundraiser for them. So if you don't mind spending a few dollars there, that's cool. And then of course we got Shave Ice, Jarvis Shave Ice, which is going to be popular. Hopefully the weather is going to be good for all of these, things. But if it's hot, especially, they'll have a lot of business. And we also have some beer vendors there. It's an Leavenworth Station Brew House is going to be there within the confines of this audience area. So this will be roped off and people can enjoy a beverage, but they have to stay within the ropes. There's going to be some picnic tables, just like 4 or 5 picnic tables, because we didn't have the city come in and bring in a bunch of those. So if you guys are telling people to come to the event and watch the stage performances, tell them to bring blankets and chairs, like seating essentially for them, because the seating that we'll provide is limited. What else? So there's that. We have Paint a Bus, UFT 469 is coming out and offering me a chance for kids to paint a bus. So fun. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. Let me go over to the volunteer section. And then I want you guys to pop in and ask some questions. I'm sure there's probably some already, but let's get to the more formal part of the presentation. And then if you guys still have questions, let me know, or specific questions to your volunteer position. I think that's where we're going to start. Okay. So volunteer summary. We have a lot of slots. Tom hit the nail on the head where there's a lot of people to bring on board here. If we were to fill all the slots, it's like 100 people potentially. And not necessarily people, there's like 100 slots to fill. So, if 75 people were on board and they have multiple duties, then, it's like 100 people would be on board. But we're still at we probably need still about half of our volunteers. And I think they'll come out of the woodworks. And we're making the rounds. I just presented to the city commission last night. Not that I don't know if anyone watches those meetings or really wants to stay in touch with what's going on. But I plan to also speak with Rotary and Lions. And we had a board member speak to the chamber. I think they went to the coffee this morning. So we're making the rounds. Hopefully we'll get more people on board. If you guys have friends, family, neighbors, please send them our way. Still, the Sign Up Genius link will be great and I can get in touch with them there. All right. So volunteer check-in. Okay, so when you guys, shouldn't be there. You guys already know that part. Here's the Sign Up Genius link. I guess, okay, sorry, I'm rereading this again. This isn't necessarily about check-in, it's still more general information, but I will say, so again, the original sign up may or may not be kind of where we place you. Mostly, we'll honor this is the time that you need and this is what you said you'd do, so we'll put you there. But if you were more open-ended or your times kind of overlap, we'll sort of place you where we need you. And again, I'll try to confirm those that I know for sure are in the right slots and we're good to go there earlier than some of the ones that still have a little wiggle room. But just so you know, we will reach out to you with your final volunteer role or roles. I'll just email you. And we're happy to give you more specific information about what your role entails, because this is just kind of blanket volunteer stuff unless you would ask your question tonight, which will be fine. Again, so this is where the check-in comes into place. We're going to be out there as early as, some of us will be out there as early as, I don't know, 6:30 or something. Setting up tents. I can't remember what the sign up says, but it's pretty early. And just so you know, that there will be, if you get there earlier than 7, it's not even a big deal. But if you get there after 7, there will be barricades in place to like the, I guess, traffic entering the park. So you can still kind of get around. I don't know as if we'll have an attendant there that early at 7. But just know that there, will be a barricade in place. Let's see. It says there will be, okay, so, well, maybe not in the early slots, but maybe there will be a volunteer at the barricade point to allow, our artists to come through because they'll get there pretty early, our vendors, etc. I would like for all volunteers to park in the event parking lot. Just plan to, access the event parking before the barricade. That's over at, again, the Abels Field /cause lot. Unless you are in need of accessible parking, in which case then you could come to the dedicated parking lot for Stubby Park. It's got 11 spaces or so, and just park there. That would be fine if you're in need of that. And then just check in at our information tent. So our information tent is like right when you get to the park. You won't be able to miss it if you come to the park and head toward that dedicated parking lot. You'll see the information tent. And if you could be at your spot, check in at least 20 minutes before your designated time, we can kind of do a run through of, hey, good to see you. This is what you're going to be doing officially, this is where we need you, and this is how long you'll stay, and blah, blah, blah. And you'll get an official volunteer badge. You'll be very official that you'll wear just around your neck. It's on a lanyard. Speaking of those badges, if you come across someone who you just strike up a conversation with and, want to tell them about LV Arts and that, you want to advocate for our organization, if you flip over the badge, there will be a QR code that people can become members, like right on the spot. Really easy peasy. Maybe we'll even have a special membership, option or something that day. But that would be great if you guys could, again, then be advocates for our organization in that way. If you aren't a member yet, please consider becoming a member. So yeah. 20 minutes before your designated time, check in at the info tent. We will be there to receive you and to put you into place. Says many of our first volunteers will work to prepare several of our all-day stations. So if you're coming in early, you're like putting up tents or setting up a station with tables, unloading tables, or getting supplies out there. We'll also have a supply tent. Some of our rotating activities will so you'll come, 20 minutes early to your volunteer spot, and we'll kind of tell you, hey, you actually need to take these supplies to your station. And then if you're only doing it for a couple hours, maybe you're the last one to do it, you're going to bring those back. So we can kind of give you the skinny on that once you get there. But let's see. We'll let you know, like if someone's coming after you, you can just leave everything as is, and you don't really even need to see us necessarily. It'd be nice if you came back and just said, hey, I'm done. Or you know what, you should probably even wait for the next person to come. But if they don't show, then it's hopefully everyone shows. But just kind of keep communication open there. But you may or may not have to break down, is what I'm saying. And we just want to make sure that everything is good to go before you leave. Again, if you're doing an art making activity, we hope to provide you with a tutorial that you can watch on your own time, and we hope to keep them to 5 minutes, and you can access those. We'll try to probably provide a link again on social media or on our website. So you can just say, hey, I'm doing the geode watercolor. I'm going to click on that. And there it is magically. And we hope to have those done by the 19th. So you'll have to wait a little while, but they will be there. I think lastly, this is the last slide, and our vice president put this one in for me so I can kind of read it with you guys. really wherever you are stationed, just welcome people and, say, hey, welcome to LB Arts at the Park. We're glad you're here, and encourage participation as much as you can. Even if people are walking by your station kind of looking at you, like, invite them in to participate and say, want to try this? And hopefully they will. And then, of course, like part of your volunteer responsibility is just to kind of keep things tidy and keep trash to a minimum. Hopefully we'll have trash cans pretty close to all of those activities that you can, kind of upkeep. We will have storage or drying tables. So once people start making things, they're going to probably need a place to put them, and maybe they don't want to, have wet papers with them or something all day. So you can direct them, there'll be a portion of the park dedicated to like just storage, and then encourage people that like, hey, leave it for like an hour and then come back and get it before, too long, or before you leave, make sure to grab your stuff from the drying area. So everyone, when they come to the park, they'll enter all the same place, but the information tent will be distributing little maps, just like the one you saw on the previous slide. And on the back of that map, there will be like basically a legend again of like, hey, if you're doing again geo watercolor, that's going to take place at Station 7. So really, you can't miss all of the opportunities happening that day because they'll be on the back of the map. So people are like kind of like, I don't know what's going on. Like, where can I do this or that? Just direct them to the information tent, and they can get a map there. I guess it says that we're going to have this, but we'll probably be promoting some of our future events on that too. So just let them know that, hey, are you like, what else is LV Arts doing? Oh, go check out the map because it's on the back. Hopefully it'll be on the back. If you're out of something, if you need restocked, again, we'll have a supply tent right next to the info tent. So if you're like, I'm out of red paint, what will I do? You can just go to the supply tent, and hopefully we have more. Says improvise or close station. Oh, that's interesting. Well, so we may or may not have more, but if we're all out, then it's like, okay, well, this, none of the things that we're offering all day items I doubt we'll run out of, but I guess we'll see. Improvise. Let's see what else. And then we encourage you to take photos, anything, like take photos of yourself doing volunteer stuff, take photos of, just people doing their park things. And you can email those to us. Most of you already have our email, hello@lvarts.info, or tag us on social media, etc. I think that's about it, friends. Let me go back to, I don't know, the event map. Does anybody want to see the event map again? Or what questions can I answer for those of you who are like, wow, why did I ever sign up to be a part of this? Or
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
So, question number 1, do we need to bring any of our own supplies for like the activities? Like, I signed up to do like the rock painting activity.
Yes. Nope. You just come as you are, and we'll provide everything else. I guess unless you have like a specialty thing. If you want to bring something for people to use, great, but it's not required at all, for sure.
Okay. Okay. And then second question was, which I guess you sort of answered it a little bit. I've been sharing like stuff on Facebook like crazy, like the Sign Up Genius and like just stuff like that you guys are posting on the LV Arts in the Arts in the Park page, to try to get the word out to encourage, people to volunteer. So like, what happens if we don't have enough volunteers?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
that is a great question, Reed. I don't allow myself to think that.
I was wondering.
Yeah,
that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, I think at that point we kind of just trim the fat. I guess I hate to say that because I think everything's wonderful, but we have to have some things in place. Like barricade volunteer, like someone needs to be in a barricade, right? And a parking volunteer Someone's definitely got to be doing it. And I think and Noreen and Tom, how do you guys say your last name again? Is it
Lahan.
Lahan?
Uh-huh.
Did I say that correctly? Okay, Lahan. Yeah, I know you guys are kind of holding down, I think, both barricade and event parking. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So, I mean, those obviously are very like essential. So some of the art making activities, if we're unable to fill that spot, no one has kind of stepped up in a leadership position. Our board, like things like that, for me, I would love to be able to cover all these things, but I know I'm going to have to kind of be free. So I can't step in necessarily, but it might just come down to say, we weren't able to offer that this year. But hopefully we'll be able to do it next year, So I'm still thinking we can offer everything that we said we're going to. So. But good question, Logan.
Yeah, it was so hard. It was so hard to choose what activities to volunteer for because I wanted to do all of them.
Yeah.
So I tried to do, like the rock painting thing. The rock painting thing I kind of, have some experience with. And then I tried to do like other things that I know we need volunteers for, like the tent setup and breakdown, and then like setting up the activities. And then I did volunteer for like an artist attendant as well, which, I wish I could do like more of like the like art activities. But I need to have like a break sometime in there.
Totally. Yeah. And things like that, Logan, too, we can kind of double up. Like an artist attendant could also probably be like the sidewalk chalk attendant. Like that doesn't need like too much supervision. It's like kind of just going around and making the rounds really. So I'm not allowing myself to put my head in that space yet of like, what if we don't have enough volunteers? We'll just make it work with the crew that we have. But I think I'm confident that we'll get more and more people on board. It's still a little bit early in the month, but I hate to cut it that close, but it's our first year. So we're learning, and I think we'll put on still a quality event, because safe and quality, that's
For sure.
I have a couple questions, if you don't mind. Are there any specific qualifications that a volunteer needs in order to be able to participate in the activities, like the art activities?
No. I mean, are you asking like if they need to have an arts background, for instance, or, like that kind of thing, or?
Yes, right.
No, I think, right. I think if people volunteer for it, I think we're kind of just trusting that, they're willing or able, to manage, and they're not anything like too involved, I should say, especially with the tutorial. Like I'm hoping people can kind of just figure it out, and I think the community will be forgiving. I don't think they're expecting experts or masters in the field, for instance. But are you thinking about joining in on an activity, Noreen?
No, but I've got a couple people in mind that I'm going to campaign for. So
love it. Thank you so much. That's great.
Well, and you are going to keep us updated about the outstanding, so that send out a panic button or whatever you feel is necessary, so that we can kind of go out and knock on doors or something.
Thank you. Yes, that's a great idea. I'm gonna write that down too. Just keep updates. Maybe every we're down to like only a few weeks, so maybe every so often, every few days, I can say, hey, we really need that spot filled. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Well, and if you could just provide a summary, because sometimes it's at the end of the day you say, oh gee, I didn't go in and look at the sign up Genius to see. So if you could kind of keep that summarized, that would be helpful.
Okay. Love it. And corresponding via email is okay with you guys. That's fine. I'll just send out emails of updates. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And one other question. Initially there was a comment about t-shirts. Is that still available? Can you give us an update about what that is? Yeah.
So there were our event t-shirts that we did through Custom Ink. It was like a limited time fundraiser, and that allowed us to provide shirts for people who wanted them, but only for a limited time, so that it prevented us from having a lot of extra inventory, for instance, or like buying shirts that then we couldn't sell or didn't need. Right. Because we don't really know numbers, for instance. But I will tell you that there is like a very limited stock of ones that you can still purchase. Noreen, and even if you maybe got me an email, I could just go ahead and, tell it to you. I think we ordered like 3 or 4, literally like 3 or 4 in each size.
Okay.
So they're up for grabs. Just email me and I just say like, okay, I guess that one's gone. We don't necessarily, we were just going to offer them at the event. If someone by the off chance, just, visitor wanted to rock a t-shirt, which would be great. I guess we just didn't anticipate people wanting like, yes, I absolutely need a t-shirt here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Very
but let
good.
me know. Yep. Thank you so much. And you guys, I hate to like just run, but we're getting our artists in here for the next round. And so I gotta start my 7 o'clock. But again,
All right.
email me any questions. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for letting me talk at you. And if any questions pop up, let me know. And Logan and Carmen, I'm going to get back to you guys on your board service. So thank you again for applying for that. So, okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Logan. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi, Guinevere. Oh, so good to see you.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, you start school tomorrow. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, wait. School.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Hey.
Wow, hello everyone. I'm so excited to see so many artists on here. I feel like this is like actually, pretty darn good turnout because I want to say there's 15 of you total. So that's great. And I just got off with our volunteers. So pardon. Oh, you know what? I need to stop recording, I think, because I'm recording each of these sessions. So hold on one second. We'll stop the recording.